Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the continuity of previous lecture, we will discuss about the visual pathways. In the previous lecture, what we discussed that there are three main type of cells which were involved in the visual pathways. That is photoreceptors, bipolar cells, ganglionic cells. Here we will discuss further detail of the visual pathways. Here I draw the eye. Suppose this is the right eye. This is the left eye. Now this is optic nerve coming out. Here is the pathway for the crossing over of the fibers. Like this. Okay. This is the lateral geniculate body, and this is the occipital cortex. Okay. Now here I draw the field of vision or visual field. Why I draw this is small? Because the nasal half of the visual field is smaller as compared to the temporal half. Here again, this is the nasal side of visual field, and this is the temporal side of visual field. Now, as we know, this is the nasal side, and this is the temporal side of visual field. This is again nasal side, and this is temporal side. You can say of the visual field, this is the right half, this is the left half of the visual field. Again, this is the right half, and this is the left half. Now, the light rays, they will not fall directly like this. Instead, they will from here, the light rays, they will fall here, and from here they will fall here on this side. Okay, now I draw that from the temporal side of the visual field, the light rays will go here. Okay, and from the nasal field of the vision, the light rays will go to the I use a different color for these. And from the nasal side of the visual field, it will go to the lateral side of the eye. Okay, again here the light rays from the nasal field of vision, they will go to the lateral half of the lateral side of the eye, and from the temporal half of the visual field, the light rays will go to the medial side of an eye. Now, this is from the right eye. This is the temporal side of right eye. This is the nasal side of the right eye. This is again the nasal side of the right eye, and this is the temporal side. Why it is called nasal side and this is temporal side? Because in the center you can say this is the nose, and so this would be the nasal side, and here there is a temporal bone, so it will be called the temporal side. Now next is the fibers. The nasal fibers, they will cross, while the fibers which will be coming from the temporal side of eye, they will not cross. Okay, here the fibers of the nasal side of eye. Okay, the nasal side of eye, they will cross to the opposite side. They will go to the opposite side occipital cortex, while the fibers which are coming from the temporal side of eye or temporal half of the retina, they will not cross. Okay, in the opposite eye, same, the nasal fibers, they will cross to the opposite side, while the temporal fibers, they will not cross. Okay, now next, the fibers, they have to reach to the occipital cortex. Occipital cortex, the fibers which are coming from the inferior quadrant of the retina, they will form a loop. After forming a loop, they will go to the occipital cortex, and this loop is called the Meyer's loop. While the fibers which are coming from the superior quadrant of the retina, they will pass directly to the occipital cortex through the parietal lobe. Okay, and this loop will pass through the temporal lobe. What is it called? It is the Myers loop or temporal lobe. Okay, again the fibers which will be coming from the inferior quadrant of retina, they will form the loop, while the fibers which will be coming from the superior quadrants of the retina, they will pass directly. Okay, now here I label that. What is this? This is the optic nerve, and where the fibers cross, what is this? This is the optic chiasma. This is the optic tract. What is this? This is the optic tract, and from the optic tract the fibers go to the lateral geniculate body. And then the fibers which come out, what are they called? They are called the optic radiations, and then they terminate in the occipital cortex. Okay, so in the visual pathways, what is the sequence of the electrical signals to pass? So from the field of vision, from the retina, the electrical signals, they first come in the optic nerve, then in optic chiasma, then optic tract, then in the lateral geniculate body, then form the optic radiations, and then terminate in the occipital cortex. In the occipital cortex, there are two further types of the occipital cortex. One is the primary occipital cortex, and second is the secondary occipital cortex. This is concerned only with the vision. This secondary occipital cortex is responsible for further detail of the visual signals, like the motion, the objects which are moving, the further detail, further analysis. This is the function of secondary occipital cortex. The primary occipital cortex, it is actually the 17 Broca's area. Okay, 17 Broca's area is actually the occipital cortex. You know, different areas, different numbers are assigned to the different areas, 1 2 3 like that. So 17 number is specific for the occipital cortex, primary occipital cortex. And what is this? This is the calcarine sulcus, and the primary occipital cortex, it is present above and around. It is present around the occipital cortex is present around the calcarine sulcus. Okay, now here in the center I draw a medulla oblongata. It is the cross section of the spinal cord at the level of superior colliculus. You know that superior colliculus is concerned with the vision, while inferior colliculus is concerned with hearing. Just like that, lateral geniculate body, it is concerned with the vision, while medial geniculate body, it is concerned with hearing. Okay, now here I draw the medulla oblongata. It is actually the cross section of spinal cord at the level of superior colliculus. Here I will draw the two nuclei. There are two nuclei on the left side, same on the right side. These are the pretectal nuclei, and these are the Edinger-Westphal nuclei. Okay, this is the Edinger-Westphal, and this is the pretectal. Okay, the posterior most, they are the pretectal nuclei, while the a little bit forward, these are the Edinger-Westphal nuclei. Some of the optic fibers before the lateral geniculate body, they go to the pretectal nuclei, and then to the Edinger-Westphal nuclei of the same side and also of the opposite side. Now here I tell you the function of these fibers. You know that Edinger-Westphal nucleus, these the fibers which will go further, which will come out of the Edinger-Westphal nuclei and go to the eye, they will be responsible for the they will also be responsible for the constriction of pupil. So you know that when you show light on the eye, on the pupil, there are two types of pupillary reflex: the direct pupillary reflex and indirect pupillary reflex. There, here is the function how that this is the when the light rays come, then they also go to the opposite side of the endanger Westphal nucleus. So the pupil of the same side, it would also contract, while the pupil of the opposite side, it would also be contract, and this will be the indirect pupillary reflex, and this would be the direct pupillary reflex, because the light is shown in the left eye. So the signals, they not only go to the left Edinger Westphal nuclei, but also to the right Edinger Westphal nuclei. So the pupil of both eye will contract. Okay, so this was all about the visual pathways. Okay, thanks.